Tonight, distracted drivers the focus of a new RAA campaign. And our region freezes through a cold spell, with the Flinders Ranges turned into a winter wonderland.
From our 7 Spencer Golf studios, your nightly news with John Hunt begins now.
Good evening. Keep your eyes on the road. That's a message from the RAA as they launched a new safety campaign targeting distracted driving. The insurer alarmed by new statistics on the issue.
A sobering statistic in what's been a tough year for the road toll. 24 lives lost on South Australian roads this year as a result of distracted driving.
The amount of accidents we go to due to people being inattentive while they're driving, it's way too high.
We tend to see an overrepresentation of lives lost on the regional and rural highways. So really, really important for these reasons is to ensure that when you're behind the wheel, that you're focused on the task of driving.
The insurer also alarmed by figures from a recent survey they conducted. More than 33% of Australian drivers admitting to using their phones whilst driving.
43% of fatalities and 48% of serious injuries are attributed to distraction between 2015 and 2019.
The RAA warning even just a quick check of your mobile could have serious consequences.
We've raised the point, for example, even at travelling 50 kilometres an hour, if you look down at your phone, particularly for 2 seconds, you travel nearly 30 metres blind. So it's quite scary.
And that risk doubles on our highways. Drivers could be driving without knowing what's around them or where they're going for nearly 60 metres.
A lot can happen in that 50 or 60 metres, especially if you're approaching an intersection or controlled intersection, people on the crossing the roadway, or another vehicle pulling in front of you.
Laura Milovanovic, 7 Spencer Golf News.
The Spencer Golf and Flinders Ranges have shivered through some wintry conditions over the past 24 hours, with snow falling as far north as Wilpena Pound. Other parts of the Flinders Ranges also turned into a winter wonderland as locals lapped up the rare conditions.
A thick layer of snow covering this scrubland while cars battled through the stormy weather. The winter chill being felt across our region and in the north.
We certainly saw a very cold day over the Spencer Golf area yesterday, with temperatures well below average. I guess temperatures sort of sat, for maximum temperatures sat around the 8 to 10 degree mark, with the coldest August temperatures recorded both Whyalla and Port Augusta.
It was so cold even snow fell at Wilpena Pound, Kerwin Moore capturing the conditions. Locals at Melrose waking to a frosty covering of snow on their decks, a combination of misty fog and freezing cold temperatures creating the unique sight. The Flinders Ranges looking more like the European Alps. The White Hills dominating the landscape for hundreds of kilometres. Staff at Skytrek Willow Spring Station near Hawker waking up to a magical sight.
We'd heard that, there was reports of snow in the Flinders, which we've heard before. The 2 times we have seen it was more so on the peaks, particularly of Wilpena Pound.
Roads disappeared and cars were covered in multiple layers of snow.
So we woke at 7 o'clock this morning to pull back the curtains and see what's normally real deep red and the blue skies to bright white the whole way around us. It was pretty incredible.
Not a peep of sun in Whyalla, with the storm form creating bitter conditions. Sophia Contagonis, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Spencer Golf Cities has got the ball rolling with newly appointed ministers in the South Australian Government. The group holding a meeting with the new Regional Development Minister, discussing a number of projects set to transform the region.
3 regional centres united as one. Spencer Golf Cities Committee wasting no time this week, making contact with newly appointed South Australian Cabinet ministers.
We had a meeting on Tuesday, a Zoom meeting, and we're very, very keen to get in touch with the new ministerials.
The region preparing for busy years ahead with a number of large-scale projects underway. Port Pirie's Meat Abattoir Whyallah's proposed $100 million foreshore resort and major bridge upgrades in Port Augusta are in the pipeline. The group's chairperson determined to ensure the ministers are well aware of the value and importance of these plans.
It's one of those things that we've been working very closely, as you know, every quarter with the Premier, and we want to bring our new ministers up to speed.
The newly appointed Regional Development Minister says he was briefed on a number of issues.
A particular issue around the cuttlefish this week, but we're also looking at different things around drought and all sorts of other things that are very important to those regions.
He's also eager to work closely with the group and get projects in the area moving.
And certainly we're working with all the regional areas to achieve great outcomes for regional people.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
A man has lost his licence after being caught drink driving in Port Augusta. Police stopped the 27-year-old in Young Street on Wednesday, with checks revealing he was an unlicensed driver. The man allegedly returned a positive blood alcohol reading of 0.167, more than 3 times the legal limit. He was issued with a 12-month instant loss of licence and will be summoned to appear in court at a later date. No jab, no play laws are in effect in South Australia from today. Parents will now have to provide up-to-date vaccination records for their children to be able to enrol and attend early childhood centres. Children who have not met all immunisation requirements will now be excluded from early childhood centres. The new rules are part of the state government's legislation aimed at protecting children within centres. It's hoped the new laws will also protect the wider community by minimising the spread of preventable diseases. Still to come tonight, Port Perry unveils a memorial to the stolen generation, and a new music program launched at a Wyler High School. Welcome back. A new plaque has been installed on the picket fence at Port Perry's Memorial Oval in remembrance of the stolen generation. One survivor is calling for extra education to be provided, fearing it may happen again.
An array of emotions evoked as this new plaque took its place at Memorial Oval. The sign paying tribute to children who were taken from their families through the policies that created the stolen generation.
They haven't had a voice, and hopefully this will start.
This local survivor is calling for more awareness to be raised. He recently approached local MP Jeff Brock, sharing the childhood trauma he endured.
What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to acknowledge that what I went through and what other people go through.
I take credit to him for coming in and openly talking about his personal experience about what happened when he was a child, and it's traumatic to hear what he went through.
For many, it's a small step forward, but for others, this is just the beginning of shining a light on this dark chapter of Australia's history, with some elders worried it could happen again.
People just don't understand that what's happening behind closed doors, how much damage mentally is done to kids these days behind closed doors, you know.
The community encouraged to work together and pay tribute to those gravely impacted.
But at the same time, we shouldn't be hiding it. We shouldn't be putting it behind closed doors or putting it under the carpet or whatever it is. We've got to bring it out to the open.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
A 49-year-old man has been arrested after his fingerprints were allegedly detected at the scene of a holiday home break-in at the end of July. Detectives traced the evidence back to the man. His home was also searched, with a taser, knuckle duster, ice pipes and dried cannabis seized. The Wallaroo man was charged with a raft of offences, including serious criminal trespass. He was bailed and will appear in court at a later date. A 29-year-old man has lost his licence after being found driving nearly 4 times the legal limit yesterday afternoon on the Air Highway. Around 12 o'clock, officers detected the driver travelling at 156 kilometres per hour in a 110 zone near Yatala. Patrol soon pulled over the driver, with the West Australian man losing his licence on the spot. He was also issued with a $1,750 fine. Wyler's Samaritan College is taking interest for a new music industries course beginning next year. The 2-year program will be available to all Year 10 students across the city who have a passion for making music.
A step forward for Whyalla music students, now given an exciting opportunity.
Whyalla has a huge array of vet offerings down the trade path, beauty and hair, those sorts of things. We saw that there is a gap in the market, that there's a need for students who have those more creative talents.
The course helping students interested in the industry hit the right note as they learn about working behind the scene.
A music industry course is not only good for our school, it's great for the region.
And it's not only for Samaritan College students, with Year 10s from other local schools also able to participate.
We're delighted to help Samaritan College pioneer this amazing initiative for our region.
Alison says the hands-on training is an excellent pathway for students who want to make a career in the industry.
So you don't have to be a musician to work in the music industry. There are many opportunities out there for sound engineers, lighting operators and studio producers. This certificate is the ideal way to start a journey in that direction.
The school is currently seeking expressions of interest. Expanding it into Year 12 curriculum is also a future possibility.
It will only count towards the SACE at this stage, but if we've got the interest down the track, we might extend it to a Certificate 3 in music industry, and that could contribute towards an ATAR.
A lot of them like to play music, but this just takes it another direction in terms of producing music and recording music as well, so hopefully there'll be some interest.
Locals can contact the school for more information. Sophia Contagonis, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us. Whyalla Council prepares for the next round of local roadworks. And a Port Augusta footy club encouraging fans to become part of the foundations of their club rooms. Multiple Whyalla residents will be receiving a letter from Boral Construction as several roads across the city undergo upgrades. It's part of the council's 3-year road plan, with 50% of this year's scheduled work to commence on Monday. The roadworks are set to run for 2 to 3 weeks, with additional preparation underway for stormwater infrastructure. A full list of roads receiving the upgrades will be provided on council's website. Port Pirie Solomon Town North Primary School hosted a Genes for Genes Day today. The national event is in a bid to raise awareness about genetic diseases, with 1 in 20 kids having a condition. Many students were excited to wear their best jeans to school and put a gold coin donation to the worthy cause. There was a bake sale and many students learnt more about diseases through educational activities. The money raised will go towards vital research to find treatments and cures. The West Augusta Football Club is turning to a novel way of raising vital funds. They're putting together a True Believers fundraiser to help with the financial strain after shutting its doors for over 3 months due to the coronavirus pandemic.
It's a club that survived wars and recession over its 105-year history, but 2020 has proved to be the most difficult yet for West Augusta.
Yeah, we've never had anything like this all the years I've been here with a footy club.
Struggling financially due to COVID-19 restrictions, the Hawks are getting on the front foot, starting a fundraising campaign. They're selling tiles which will be placed on the walls of their club room.
People will be able to have either their family name or perhaps someone who was important to them, maybe someone who has passed, or even their footy number engraved on that tile, and then that'll be going up on the wall permanently in our club, and that will become the True Believers wall.
Its members receiving notice through the mail, with the club hoping they'll rally in support.
The letter's only been out for 2 days. I've had 3-4 people ring me already saying that they're going to donate money already.
Our goal is to sell about 140, 150 tiles and ultimately raise $50,000 for our club to secure our financial operations for the future.
The club room, a walk down memory lane filled with history and memories.
It means everything. We've got blood, purple and white blood. You know, all the families played here. My son's played here.
It's hoped the funds raised will help them survive for another 100 years, allowing generations a chance to wear the purple and white.
So that we are here not just for the last 100 years, but for the next 100 years.
Laura Milovanovic, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Good luck to them. I hope they reach their target. Time now for a preview of the weekend's footy matches from across our region. Here's our experts with their tips.
Hello and welcome to round 6 of SGL football. It's just over the halfway mark of the season and the finals are still a wide open race. This weekend we've got Central taking on West at Central Oval in Port Augusta. Both sides are capable of winning on their day and this should be a tight game. I'm tipping Central. In Pirrie, it's Port taking on the Lions at Memorial Oval. Port have improved in the last couple of weeks with their youngsters starting to show some good signs. The Lions are sitting on top of the ladder and will be a hard side to beat. I'm tipping the Lions.
While of football, we're past the halfway stage now, just 5 rounds to go. Teams to start playing each other for the second time, and on Saturday at Bennett Oval it's West Whyalla versus Central Whyalla. Central's, funnily enough, are the team that's got the closest to West so far this year, and that was by 50 points. I think it'll be a bit closer, but West still should win this one. Saturday at Memorial Oval it's North Whyalla versus Roona Bay. North are doing just enough to stay in the top 4, and I think they'll get a win against the winless Bays team. And on Sunday it's South Whyalla versus Rapina. Roos lost by nearly 15 goals last weekend, but they're going to be clear favourites in this game and cement second spot on the ladder.
Welcome to Port Lincoln Footy Tips and round 6. We kick things off at Centenary Oval, where Waybacks are hosting Lincoln South. The first time these two teams met, it was a close game. I think it'll be the same this week, but I'm going to tip Waybacks to win this one and win this one by 3 goals. In the next game, we've got Boston's hosting Marble Range at Poole Oval. Marble Range was far too strong in the first game, and I think it's going to be the same this time. I'm tipping Marble Range to win this one and win this one by a big margin.
Stay with us after the break. We'll check in with today's finance news. And Britt will join us with a look at how the weather is shaping up for the weekend. Hello again. Time for a look at Friday finance. It was a quiet day on the local market to end the financial week, most stocks falling slightly. Adelaide Brighton, Santos, Regional Express and Wesfarmers all fell by less than 1%. The Bendigo Bank was also down, while Westpac finished where it started. Those patterns reflected on the markets overall. The ASX 200 and All Ords both down by a little more than 0.5%. To the weather, and as you saw earlier, winter truly hit us today, with rain, snow and cold temperatures across most parts. With the details, here's Britt.
That's right, John. We've had a wild and wintry 24 hours. As Sophia showed us earlier, snow about the Flinders Ranges today, with maximum temperatures well below average across the region. Coffin Bay recorded our high of 14 degrees. Port Lincoln reached 13 today, Woodnut 12. 10 degrees was the high at Whyalla, Kadina and Cleve. It reached a top of 9 at Port Augusta and Port Pirie, with Broken Hill and Clare both recording maximums of 6 degrees. From today's satellite images, we can see extensive cloud over South Australia, with a complex low generating thunderstorms to our north and showers turning to snow over the Flinders Ranges. Moving on to tomorrow now, easterly winds about the Gulf waters, turning southeasterly later in the day, seas up to 1.5 metres with south to southwesterly swells. And before we get to the local forecast, the Bureau of Meteorology has issued a warning to sheep graziers for tonight and tomorrow morning for the West Coast, Lower Eyre Peninsula, Eastern Eyre Peninsula, York Peninsula, Flinders and Mid-North forecast districts. Warning of very cold conditions, rain and strong southeasterly winds tonight and tomorrow morning, with a risk of losses of lambs and sheep exposed to these conditions. Now let's see what Saturday is going to look like near you. Starting with Port Lincoln, showers forecast with a high of 15 degrees. Cleve, showers easing, a top of 13. A shower or two clearing at Woodnut, 16 tomorrow. Whyalla with a shower or two expected, 14 the top there. Port Augusta also 14 with a shower or two. Another cold night ahead for Kadina with an overnight low of 1 degree. A shower or two with a high of 14 tomorrow. 1 overnight at Port Pirie, showers tomorrow with a top of 13. 0 the overnight low for Clare, a top of 9 degrees tomorrow with showers forecast. And finally to Broken Hill, cloudy with a high of 11. So that was Saturday. Let's look at your Sunday briefly. Fine and partly cloudy about the Spencer Gulf region, with showers forecast for Broken Hill. Woodnut a top of 18 degrees, Port Lincoln and Kadina both 16, Port Augusta, Whyalla and Port Pirie all 15, Broken Hill 12. And now a quick look into next week. Fine and partly cloudy across the board on Monday with maximums in the mid to late teens. Tuesday showers about the Spencer Gulf but remaining dry at Broken Hill. And John, that's the weekend weather. Back to you.
Thanks, Britt. And that's the news for tonight and the week. Just a reminder, you can keep up with us via our Facebook, Twitter and YouTube pages. I'm John Hunt, thanks for your company. I'll have updates later, and Louise Huber will be with you on Monday. Have a great weekend. Good night.